So, where did I go wrong? What happened? Why I haven't been driving lately is probably some of the things that's going to come up when people start saying, hey, well, where's your car? Or why come you don't have any driving videos? So I'm going to go ahead and answer that. I'm going to be honest about it. I've been doing all these deliveries, but YouTube just wasn't my thing. But Dashing Trader is one of those people that kind of encourage people to try different things. So he was the reason why I wanted to actually give YouTube a shot. So give him a good shout out. He's cool. He definitely gonna tell you what's up, and he ain't gonna be like, oh yeah, you should take this, and that. No, he's gonna tell you like, are you gonna make a profit or not? But for me, my idea of profitability might be different because you gotta keep in mind I have a compact car, and he has a SUV. So what might be profitable for him may be profitable for me, but what may be profitable for me may not be for him. Everybody has their own ways of being able to make money, and the big part is the kind of vehicle that you drive. And speaking of vehicle, this is probably where I've literally made my mistake. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give you like a backdrop of exactly what I've done wrong. I was thinking if I buy a compact car, I'm very fuel efficient. I can still haul plenty of stuff around. I don't have any kids or anything, so I don't have car seats to hang me up or anything. I got a 4-door vehicle, compact. What could go wrong, right? Nope. I was wrong. I was real wrong about that. I bought a 2012 Ford Focus. And I was like, you know what? I had a 2010 Ford Focus. It's been a great car. I didn't have to rebuild the transmission till 300,000 some odd miles. And eventually at 500K, that car got totaled out because I got hit. It's been a fantastic little car, and I thought maybe if I buy 2012, I don't have that dual clutch transmission that they have. I thought they didn't do that until 2015 when they did the facelift on the Ford Focuses. You could look between the 2012 to 2014 Ford Focus, and then in 2015 to the 2019 ones. I think it was 19, maybe 18. I'm not sure. 18 or 19. I know they didn't sell the Ford Focuses in 2020. So I thought they put in the dual clutch transmissions after like the year that they did the facelift with the Ford Focus. I thought I was pretty much, scotch free, $4,000 car, can't go wrong. I bought another vehicle. It was a full-size sedan, and it was nice, but the thing is, it wasn't profitable because the amount of space it had combined with the the MPG. I was getting 16 miles to the gallon in that vehicle, and I said, this ain't gonna work for deliveries. It may have been worse than some of the SUVs that people use for deliveries, because it was basically, it's like a full-size sedan with a sports engine in it that put out a whopping 385 horsepower. I didn't really use that much of the horsepower, so I sold that vehicle. I didn't think I was going to regret it until one day I got hit, and my little white Ford Focus was pretty much totaled out. And I was just sitting here, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me go ahead and just buy another compact Ford Focus. Yeah, that's what my mistake was. I didn't do the research. If I did, I would have known that it had a dual clutch transmission. And based on the issues that those vehicles have, I'm SOL, shit out of luck. So Now I have a vehicle that I could barely get to my job with. I could barely get to my job, which, by the way, I have to work in a couple hours. But I could barely get to my job as it is. I'm not making deliveries right now. So now I'm dealing with only having one vehicle. My only vehicle is halfway broken down. And I'm not making deliveries because if I'm in a tight spot and I need to get out, I'm going to need reverse. I don't have reverse. The transmission on the B side is completely stuck. I think that said the circuit was closed. That means that side of the transmission is not operating at all. So essentially, I've lost gears 1, 3, 5, and reverse. I got gears 2, 4, and that's it. Not gonna cut it. And it's very sketchy when I drive it. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna attempt to drive that car. At least not for deliveries. But what I will do is I'm going to start saving money. I'm saving money. And there's a Ford Fusion I'm looking at. It may not be what I want. It may not be as fuel efficient as I want it to be. But I tell you one thing. It's better than having a vehicle that is halfway broken down in the driveway. Because that's not going to make me any money. And eventually, it'll break down completely, and then I'm going to have to get it towed. Just imagine if I made like $150 one day, and then I'm going home, and then next thing you know, I just spent $150 plus on just getting the car towed back to my house. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So, I wouldn't expect any videos of me making deliveries at this time, only because, well, I can't. I don't trust the car well enough to do deliveries anymore. I probably made about 20 deliveries in the vehicle I have right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm scared to drive it. I'm barely willing to go to work with it, only because where I live and my job is less than 10 minutes away from my house. So I'm not going to try to push it and try to drive my car across town, go here, go there, go here. I only imagine it's only a matter of time until I get hung up somewhere, and then I have to get out of the car and push that SOB to the other side of the street so I can actually get out. Now just imagine if I was doing that in front of a customer. That'd be embarrassing. So right now, my deliveries are going to be on halt. I have no idea. I know I don't look the most fantastic right now. I'm not really camera ready. But this is kind of like a last minute video thing I wanted to do, and just kind of discuss what's going to happen with this channel as I move forward. Eventually, I will have the replacement car. I don't know when, but I'm trying. I don't make much. The gig work was accounted for about 60% of my income. Now, you don't have that 60% anymore, and that 40% comes from your job. And you still have bills to pay. You still have things that you got to deal with, and you still got to get to work. All that shit costs money. So, with that being said, there's probably not much I can do until the replacement vehicle comes in and I'm able to drive it. If I could just do a tag slap, drive that around and see what comes apart on it, fix those things, get an oil changed, spark plugs, wires, things like that, and do all those little maintenance things just like I've done on the Focus when I just bought this car, and just pray that it doesn't have a major mechanical issue like a month after I buy it, because lately that's what it's been for the past couple vehicles. Now, I've had a newer Ford Fusion that I bought from Drive Time. That didn't work out very well. The ECM went bad on it, and the transmissions were destroying themselves in the car. And they kept replacing transmissions. And the mechanic said, well, that was actually a fully refurbished transmission. So he dug around a little bit and found that the ECM was bad. At the end of the day, it still had to be paid under a car note, and they weren't willing to, in long story short, they weren't willing to, honor the warranty on the ECM, even though it has not a wear and tear component. The only way you could destroy an ECM so quickly if the car got flooded. That's the only way, in my opinion. It's not a wear and tear item. Or you have some kind of electrical short. They didn't find any electrical shorts. So that means I'm leaning more towards where the mechanics told me that they probably think that the car was flooded at some point and they just cleaned it up, slapped it back together, and said, have a nice day. No car goes through 3 transmissions in a year. None. I've never had a car that done that. I've had Fords, Chevrolets, things like that in the past. I don't really do Chevy because they blow head gaskets and stuff like that. I always had problems with their engines. But Ford, I've never had that happen. And, that's just the kind of the morale of that is I had a Ford Fusion that had a bad ECM. It was going through transmissions. And at the end of the day, they weren't willing to pay for the replacement ECM, which is a lot cheaper than continue to replace the transmissions until the mileage exceeded the warranty. I was just like, whatever. So I didn't pay it. Next thing you know, the shop called me and said that my car was gone. I was like, yeah, it got repoed right out of your shop. And no actions required. I'm not paying for something that they're not going to fix. And I'm not going to put $6,000 or $7,000 on my own dime into a vehicle that I'm making payments on. Financially, it's not feasible. It's not feasible. There's nothing I could do to work that. So, I was just like, let me go ahead, buy this $4,000 car. That'll get me to where I want to be for now. And then I can work out what kind of car I would want to get. I'm leaning on either a Ford EcoSport or even my first Honda. I never owned a Honda. I know Hondas. I fixed Hondas, but I've never owned one. And I'm looking at a Honda Civic hatchback. That's cool. Just one problem. They're expensive. Very expensive cars. But they are very worthwhile vehicles. So I'm going to buy one eventually. I'm going to save a shit ton of money. Do what I can right now. Get another $4,000 or $5,000 car for the meantime. Just for the meantime. And then when I get to that point, I'll do the big reveal when I actually get the Honda Civic hatchback that I want. Hands down, can't wait for that. I'm also looking at used Mazda CX-5s. I had like a little SUV for, hauling bigger things, I guess. I really want the SUV because it'll be a nice vehicle for me to have to go fishing and things like that with a couple friends of mine. And maybe once in a while, I might go door dashing or might go Spark, or whatever it is with the gig work and take the SUV just to be like, all right, well, we're in the SUV, just hop in another vehicle. It'd be nice to work with just one or words. It'd be nice to kind of work with them just one vehicle. It'd be nice to kind of change the settings a little bit. You know what I mean? Plus, if I'm one vehicle down, then I'm not out here not making that 60% that I need. You know what I mean? If that's your only vehicle and your vehicle is down, guess what? Your income is down because you don't have a vehicle to make money. Sure, you may have scooters and things like that, but how are you going to take larger orders like groceries or, package deliveries on a freaking moped or scooter? I can't do that. I weigh over 300 pounds. I ain't going to be on a scooter for You know, it's gonna look like a clown on a scooter with my fat ass. So I'm not gonna be on a scooter. And I'm definitely not squishing my man Nuggies to a bike seat. I'll pass. I was meant to drive. That's just the way it's gonna be. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and just kind of be looking outside the box. And when I'm ready to buy the vehicle, I'll take you guys along for the ride. But for right now, I'm just going to be chilling and just going to work just like everybody else. And then when I have that vehicle available and everything's cool on it, by all means, I'll be showing you guys on how I do my DoorDash and Spark and some of the other apps I use. And maybe down the road, somebody can help me figure out what's going on with my Flex. What's going on with my Flex account? Because I haven't been on Flex in a while, and I've delivered maybe about 4 or 5 times for them. But I haven't been active for like more than 6 months, and now I can't access my driver's account. I already got my payout and everything. I already got my money, so they don't owe me anything as far as I'm aware. But I would like to continue to deliver for them. So at some point, I got to figure out what's going on with that particular gig and see if it's feasible for me to get my account back. If not, that's cool. I still have other things that I can work on. DoorDash, which is not all that great, by the way. DoorDash should be sending some trash offers. I'm pretty sure y'all are aware of that. But eventually, you're going to see it from my end as well. You know, the DMV is not all that great. And people are cheap. And on other apps, they'll tip bait you. So they'll put like a hella large tip. And usually when I see that it's 5 miles for like $20 tip plus the $5 base pay, and you're making $25 to drive 3 or 4 miles, that's a red flag for me. That's 100% like a tip bait. And I've had a couple of those, and I declined them, and they came back up. Like, people in my area are already aware of that scam. And me, I just don't take anything like that, because I know if it's not a guaranteed tip, I'm not going to take it. That's why on DoorDash, when I see the offer and tip up front, no problems. I would take it. But for some reason, the tip baiting thing that's going on Uber Eats and a couple other apps where we have food deliveries. Oh, and by the way, I don't do Uber Eats anymore, as people be tip baiting on there too. Now, I don't know if that's an area of concern in the areas that you guys work at, but in my area, it is, because they'll have this $15 tip for like 5 miles. We go to take it, and then we only make like $5 on the whole order. And we just drove 10.5 miles or whatever the mileage is for just the base pay, because they took the tip. Don't know how they're doing that. But that's why at this point I'm only going on apps where the tips are absolutely 100% guaranteed. And that's why maybe sometimes like having a lower tip, like a $5 or $6 tip, 7 or 8, maybe. But when you start seeing like $15, $20, $30, $40 tips, you know, it's not realistic. Nobody's going to tip that much in today's standards. And that's just the way it is. I can literally sit here and talk about that all day. But the moral of the story right now is all that stuff that I'm talking about, you're going to see in action once I get a vehicle up and running. Right now, there's not a whole lot that I can do. So, let me go ahead and get out of here. I'm pretty sure y'all don't want to hear me ramble for like another 10 to 20 minutes. So, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And as always, have a nice day. And please, please, please be safe out there. You never know what's going on these roads today. Like, you know, be safe. Take care of yourselves. And in the future, you're going to see more of me. It's just a matter of when I'm able to get that car. But for right now, DMV is out of here.